Painting your Islamic tile. Metallic paints come in warm colors and cool colors. Painting with tempera. We're going to go ahead and start painting with tempera. I have my small pendant tile that I'll start with. I have some water with some different sized brushes. I like to use this medium sized brush. And we have all different colors of watercolor metallic paint. So we have our warm colors like the bronze, the gold, and the copper, and then we have our cool colors, which are the silver and the pearl. If you use a warm color paint like orange or red or yellow, you'll probably want to use a copper, gold, or bronze paint. If you use a cool color, on the other hand, you'll probably want to use the pearl or the silver paint. I already mixed a green tempera paint color. I made that color from a lot of yellow and then a little bit of blue to make my green. And so I'm going to actually use some silver watercolor paint on top of that. But first I'm just going to cover the entire pendant in the green paint. And I want to make sure that I get all of the little crevices, the little places that might be hard to get to, so I'm going to splotch it on with my paintbrush. I'm going to load up my paintbrush with that paint, really make sure that I cover it well. On the other hand, you don't want to cover it too much that it covers up your whole design. If you use too much paint, it'll cover the whole design. I'm going to go ahead and paint on the sides. Now you can just lay your pendant tile down and just paint the sides that way. And then once that's dry, you can always paint the back. I think it looks best when you paint the underside, the back of your tiles. It looks more complete when that happens, but you have to wait for the one side to dry first. Alright, and now we're going to add the metallic paint. I've set aside a larger tile that I have already painted orange. So here's the one that I've already painted orange, and I'm going to now add some metallic paint. I have a small sponge and a tiny bit of paint, and that sponge is going to work really well by absorbing the paint, and it's going to let me just brush it on. We want to just brush on the metallic paint because it's going to add a nice highlight effect. It's going to make it look like it has a different kind of depth, and it will just highlight the design better. You'll notice the design more as you put the metallic paint on. You can also add small details by using your paintbrush, a small brush dipped in the metallic paint. So I just added a few different small details with my paintbrush. And that highlights some certain things that might have gotten missed with the sponge. You'll notice I don't use a lot of metallic paint. Just a little bit, and it goes a long ways. And then I'm going to look at my edges, and I think I'm going to just paint my edges the metallic color. So I'm going to go ahead and paint all on the edges. I think that's going to look really nice. You'll see I haven't painted the underside, the back of my tile yet, but I'm going to do that. So there's one edge. And you can hold it while you're painting the edges, or you can just set it down and paint the edges. It's a little easier if you set it down. And there we have the large tile and the small pendant. The small pendant, I used the silver paint with the sponge. Next, you're going to use a gloss medium varnish. This is going to make your tiles and pendants look like they've been glazed, even though we haven't glazed them, so it's going to make it really shiny and smooth. So I poured a little bit in a cup, and it looks white at first, so when you put it on, you dip your brush in there and you put it on, it doesn't look clear yet. It might look a little white or purplish, but it will dry perfectly clear. And you'll want to take this varnish and go all over your tile. You don't need very much, and it can be diluted in water, so it goes a long ways. And I just cover the entire tile with that shiny varnish. Be careful you don't miss any places, because once it dries you're going to really notice the places you don't have the varnish. And you'll do the same thing for your pendants. And here we have the before picture of my tile. And the after. So you really notice that design once it has the metallic paint.